Welcome back. We are with the chapter lens. In the previous class, we saw the images formed by convex lens. Today, let us consider images formed by concave lenses. So, I have drawn a concave lens for you. You can draw it by taking a proper segment of any length. Okay, this segment you will draw first. And then keeping the protractor this way, draw the outline. Okay, same way, this way you'll draw the outline and draw these segments. Now before we get into the images formed by concave lens, you should go through the rules for drawing ray diagrams for concave lens. It's somewhat the same. I have shown you the rule. When the incident ray is parallel to the principal axis. Now this is a principal axis. How will you get it? First you will draw the concave lens, and now this concave lens was roughly of, let me measure the length, it was 3.4. So the midpoint will be 1.7. So see, I have taken 1.7 here, I have marked as optical center. Okay, so this whole thing is 3.4, its half is 1.7. Mark the optical center. Then draw the principal axis. Then from the optical center, I have marked 2 centimeter. See, 2 centimeter, again 2 centimeter. Same way on the left side also, from the optical center 2 centimeter, again 2 centimeter. So F1, 2F1, F2 and 2F2. Now rule number 1. The first rule 1 is only different here, not slightly different, because this is converging lens or diverging lens. This is a diverging lens. Okay, so if the incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, I have drawn this incident ray, what will it do? It will get refracted, it will get diverged away from the incident ray. Okay, so the refracted ray is getting diverged. Same way, one more incident ray I have shown down. Incident ray is parallel to the principal axis. Once it enters the lens, the refracted ray gets diverged. Okay, this is the refracted ray. Now we will trace the path of the refracted ray behind. So this refracted ray, these dotted lines that you see, that I have traced it behind, keeping scale, you will trace the rays behind. Same way, this ray also you will trace it behind. You will see that the refracted rays, when traced backward, they meet at a point called as focus. This is the first rule. Okay, what will you say? If the incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, the refracted ray when extended backward, passes through the focus. Okay, this is rule number 1. The second rule remains the same. When the incident ray is made to pass through optical center. If the incident ray passes through optical center, this is the optical center. So if the incident ray is passing through optical center, after refraction it will trace the same path. The easiest rule. Okay, if the incident ray passes through optical center, then the refracted ray traces the same path. The third rule states that when the incident ray passes through focus, when it is made to pass through focus, the refracted ray is parallel to principal axis. Okay, opposite of the first rule. When the incident ray is made to pass through focus, the refracted ray is parallel to the principal axis. Okay, so let us start with the ray diagram for different position of object. The first ray diagram that we are going to consider is object at infinity. Object at infinity. So I have drawn a concave lens. Same way, now this extra part we will erase it off. Okay. Now we will measure the length and select our optical center. So as you can see, I have taken 4 centimeter. 4 centimeter. So 2 centimeter. This will be the optical center. All the ray diagrams you have to draw with pencil only. So optical center is ready. Let us draw the principal axis. Okay. Now from the optical center, 2 centimeter. Again 2 centimeter. Same way on the other side. 2 centimeter. 2 centimeter. So this will be F1, 2F1, F2 and 2F2. Object is at infinity. So from infinity the rays will come. Let us show the rays from infinity, and we will use the easiest rule. That is, when the rays are parallel to the principal axis, the refracted ray when extended backward or when traced backward will pass through the focus. First incident ray parallel to principal axis, it will get diverged. Okay, so from here you show. Now for our easiness, we will keep the scale so that we know already the rule that the refracted ray when traced behind will pass through the focus. So we will keep our scale this way so that we will get the refracted ray as well as the traced path together. No need to use the scale again and again, time consuming. So we will show the refracted ray and same ray, trace it behind and it will pass through focus. Okay, these are adjustment you have to do. Incident ray, refracted ray, traced behind through focus. Okay, now here we will use both the first rule for this. That is, first rule only we will use for this. You will see that all the refracted ray will pass through the focus. That is, here incident ray, even if I draw, it will pass through the focus. If the incident ray is parallel to principal axis, the refracted ray will pass through the focus. I have traced it behind. You will get the image of the object here at focus F1. Okay, so this ray diagram, they will give you and ask you what can you conclude from the ray diagram. Concave lens ray diagrams are not asked in your board exam. Convex lens ray diagrams are asked. Okay, so what will you write here? What will you write here? Object is at infinity. Image. Size of the image will be, image size is point size. Point size, it is virtual and erect. Why? Because it is formed on the left side of the lens. Virtual and erect. Okay, and where is the image? Image is on, the position of the images. Position of the images on focus F1. On F1. These are the things that you have to mention. Let's consider the second position of the object between optical center and infinity. So I have drawn the lens, same measurements I have taken, 2 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 2 centimeter. Now between optical center and infinity. So somewhere between optical center and infinity, let us take, if you want to take, let us consider somewhere here close to 2F1. Okay. One object will take off 1 centimeter or 1.5 centimeter. According to your wish, you can take. I'll take 1 centimeter object. 1 centimeter object. Do everything with pencil only. Just to make the object clear for you, I am using this sketch pen. So we'll take the object as AB. The first ray parallel to principal axis. Okay, and as I told you, keep the scale so that the refracted ray traced behind also you will get easily. Okay, now keep the scale this way so that keep it on F1, and what you are tracing behind, that you show with dotted lines. The incident ray will get diverged. The refracted ray, when you trace it behind, it will pass through focus. Okay. Focus. Now the second ray through the optical center from the object. Let it go through the optical center. Okay. Correct, no? Through optical center. Scale I have kept correctly. So this is the ray going from optical center. It will trace the same path. Show the arrow, children. Okay. Where are both the rays meeting? Point of intersection is here. So here you will get the object. No, here you will get the image of the object. Image of this object will be here. And see the size? Smaller than the object. It will be virtual and erect. Okay, AB. So this will be A dash, B dash. Where is the position of this image? It is between optical center and F1. Focus F1. Okay. What is the size of the image? Very small, no? And virtual and erect. Okay. So let us write about the image characteristic. Position of image. Position of images between optical center and F1. Size of the image is small compared to the object, and nature of the image is virtual and erect. Virtual and erect. Okay. So only these two ray diagrams you have to consider for concave lens. Object between optical center and infinity and object at infinity. When the object is at infinity, we are using only the first rule because we know that the image is formed at focus F1. Understanding? Okay. Okay, children. Now let us talk about the Cartesian sign convention for concave and convex lens. For convex lens and concave lens, the Cartesian sign convention remains the same. That is, we will compare it to your geometry. In geometry also we have learned x-axis, y-axis. Okay. Here the principal axis will be considered as x-axis. Principal axis will be considered as x-axis. Okay. Optical center, we will consider this optical center as origin. Okay. All the distance you measure from origin, no? So origin will be optical center. Now whatever you measure on the right side, measurements will be positive. Same like when you draw the x-axis and y-axis. Here origin 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, -1, -2. So right side positive, no? Left side negative. Okay. That will be the same here. So whatever, if you are keeping the object here on left side, you are keeping the object on left side of the lens. So suppose this is the object. The distance of this object AB from the origin, this distance of the object, you will use the alphabet small u. This is object distance. Keep in mind. One by one, keep these things in mind. From the origin, you will measure the object. So that will be object distance u. Now, the height of the object. What will be the height of the object? Again in centimeter. That we will consider as h1. h1 is height of object. One always will go for object. If there is object only, then there is image, no? So hope you understood. Now, if you are getting the image on the right side, inverted image if you are getting. So this will be A dash, B dash. No, in the last class we saw many images for convex lens. So you are getting the image on right side inverted. Now what is the distance of this image from the lens? So this distance. From the optical center we measure, no? Optical center is origin. Origin se we measure all the distance. Like this we use scale and we measure. Okay, so here we have the image. The image distance we denote by the alphabet small v. So small v is image distance. Image we got on the right side. Image हमको right side में मिला. Right side में जो मिलता है that will be positive number. Object was at the left side. Left side में जो है that will be negative. So object distance is negative. Here if I talk with this ray diagram, image distance is positive because we are getting it on the right side. Now let us talk about the height. How to consider positive and negative. Height from the ground, all the heights that you measure in the upward direction. From the principal axis, height in the upward direction. Now this way it is kept. So above whatever you measure in the upward direction, it will be positive. Okay. नीचे की तरफ, down whatever you are measuring. So here you can see it is an inverted image. Okay. Height is ulta. So inverted image means negative. Downwards if you measure, okay, you will keep the scale this way and you will measure, no? So downwards. So downwards if you measure, you will write the height of the image H2 as, H2 will be height of image and that will be negative. That's it. These are the Cartesian sign convention. In simple words I explained to you. Right side में जो भी distance आप measure करोगे that will be positive. Height, how will you measure? If the height is in the, from the principal axis if you go up, it will be positive. From the principal axis if you go down, it will be negative. Okay. So I will just read out the Cartesian sign convention specified in your textbook. Just see. According to the Cartesian sign convention, optical center is taken as origin. Principal axis is x-axis. Object is always placed on the left of the lens. All the distance parallel to the principal axis are measured from optical center. All the distance you measure from optical center is the meaning of this first point. Distance measured to right of the optical center are positive, while distance to the left are negative. As I told you, no, to the right positive, to the left negative. अभी height के बारे में. Distance perpendicular to the principal axis above it are positive. ऊपर के तरफ वाला distance will be positive. This upward one will be positive and the downward one will be negative. Distance is perpendicular to principal axis and below it is taken as negative. Okay, these are the sign convention. Now for focal length of convex lens. Convex lens, focal length, you always get it on the right side of the lens. So that will be on the right side means it will be positive. And for concave lens, just few minutes back you saw the refracted ray passed through focus F1. Okay, it passed through F1. F1 will be here, no, when traced behind. So it is on the left side. Left side में आया तो the focal length of the concave lens will be negative. Very important question. Focal length of convex lens is positive and focal length of concave lens is negative. Because you are getting it on the left side of the lens. For convex lens, you are getting it on the right side of the lens. That's it. These are the Cartesian sign convention. Now, after that, you have the next term called as magnification of lens. Magnification of lens. Magnify, to enlarge it and see. That means here you can see that the image is of smaller size than the object. So magnification is just a ratio. Magnification, symbol M, is the ratio of the height of the image to the height of the object. H2 upon H1. Magnification produced due to a lens is the ratio of the height of the image to height of the object. H2 upon H1. Now this can be written in another way also, in the form of object distance and image distance as object distance is u and image distance is v. Don't forget. So this can be written in other way as m is equal to v upon u. That is, magnification of lens is also related to distance of the image. Huh? Okay, distance of the image and that of the distance of the object. This is the distance of the image upon distance of the object. Object distance is u. This way also you can write. So we will club this together and we will write it as m is equal to h2 upon h1, which is equal to v upon u. By heart it. We need it for numericals. M is equal to h2 upon h1, which is equal to v upon u. Understood? Okay. Now after that we have the next topic called as power of lens. Power of lens is the capacity of the lens to converge or diverge. If it is for convex lens, how much that convex lens can converge the incident ray, that capacity is called as power of lens. If it is concave lens, how much is the capacity of the lens to diverge the incident ray is called as the power of lens. Okay, so the capacity of a lens to converge or diverge incident ray is called its power. Okay, power of lens. And most important formula, power of lens is the reciprocal of focal length. P is equal to 1 upon f. P is equal to 1 upon f. And focal length we will measure it in meter. Given in centimeter, you will convert it into meter. The power is given the unit as diopter. The unit of power of lens, not electricity power. The unit of power of lens is diopter. D-I-O-P-T-R-E. How will you write? 1 diopter is equal to 1 upon f in meter. Okay, 1 upon focal length in meter. 1 upon 1. I hope you are understanding. The combination of lens. Let us consider two lens. One lens focal length is f1 and another lens focal length will consider as f2. If these two lenses are combined, okay, by keeping them in contact with each other, the combination, that is the total focal length is called as the combination of lenses. The formula is 1 upon effective focal length, effective means total, is equal to 1 upon f1 plus 1 upon f2. Can you remember a formula which is similar to this? The resistance in parallel, same way. 1 upon f1, f is equal to 1 upon f1 plus 1 upon f2. Okay, how will you explain it? If two lenses with focal length f1 and f2 are kept in contact with each other, the combination of effective focal length is given by 1 upon f is equal to 1 upon f1 plus 1 upon f2. Okay, so this is the most important formula that we will be using for our numericals, called as the lens formula. Lens formula is nothing but the relation between object distance, image distance and focal length. What is lens formula? The formula which shows or which gives the relation between object distance, image distance and focal length is called as the lens formula. Okay, you have to by heart it. 1 upon v minus 1 upon u is equal to 1 upon f. V all u is equal to 1 upon f. 1 upon v minus 1 upon u is equal to 1 upon f. This formula by heart it. Okay. The next formula that you have to keep in mind is the magnification formula. Very easy. H2 upon H1 and equal to V upon U. Okay. V, U. First V, then U. First V, then U. Don't be selfish. First all of us together. Like that you remember. All of us. V all. And then U is equal to 1 upon F. So this is the second formula that you have to remember, magnification formula. And sometimes they ask you the combination of lens also, which is 1 upon f is equal to 1 upon f1 plus 1 upon F2. These are the formulas that we will be using in the next class to solve the numericals. Okay, so please kindly go through all the definitions, learn it well, write it in your book. Till we meet for the next time, be prepared for the numericals. Thank you, students.